Hello everyone, Marc Sabatella here with the Mastering MuseScore School. Welcome to the Music Masterclass. So today is kind of our first session of doing the Masterclass while doing our Musicianship Skills Workshop. And I want to be focusing some on the sort of things that we're talking about now, sight singing and other ear training related matters. So, look forward to having people checking in here in the chat. And I'm noticing my pop-out chat window is not doing its job. So let me close it and try it again. There it is. And did I freeze again? Oh my God. Yeah, so I'm frozen. I can see this. I can see I'm frozen. Not to panic, but I am frozen, right? So, silly. Hey, folks. I'm black screen now. That's interesting too. All right. Plan B. All right. Wow. Okay. Frozen definitely would be good if I was literally feeling frozen. So I'm going to just close this window here because it's not going to cooperate. Here we go. Now, can you hear me? Hopefully you can hear me now. Can you hear me? I think I got it back if I did my job right. Good. Okay. So, yes, what we're going to do here is I want to do some things here involving, I guess, these aren't the right headphones anymore either, involving the sight singing stuff. And sight singing, I don't want to focus on that word sight singing, okay? Because it's part of what we're talking about here, but what I'm actually going to be developing here and trying to develop in you, I should say, is a much broader concept of what ear training is and what we can do with it and why we might do these things. All right. So I want to check here. So Jim Ivy, I see you're here. At some point here, if you're game a little later, I'll love to bring you on and have you talk about all the exercises that you're creating and just talk about that whole project. But meanwhile, I do want to start with some things of my own. So I'm going to do we're going to do some exercises here. All right. So yeah, originally I had things set up on the other computer to do things differently, but the computer just said no. So it's okay. It's okay. The computer can say no sometimes. But what I'm going to do here is actually let me pop this chat out just to make sure I have that available. What I'm going to do is give you some things to try to do. And I'm going to demonstrate some of them, and you're just going to do them all in the privacy of your own home. And I do want to show some of the work that's been done here, but mostly I've only given, as far as ear training goes, some really broad things to say to work on, right? And I haven't done much in the way of specifics, because the thing is, everyone's at different levels. And so I've been asking for feedback, from people to post in the community about, well, here's what I struggled with, here's what's good, as far as like actually going through some of those sight singing exercises. I still want more of that. I want more people to respond and let me know how that's going for you. Feel free to do that here in the chat as well. But yeah, in the community is a great place so that the conversation can be ongoing. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do some things involving the Happy Farmer, because well, it's a piece we're working on, and it allows me to demonstrate some more things. So I'm going to get that piece loaded up, and then I'll share my screen in a second. And now MuseScore here is, okay, now here we go. Okay, sorry. Just give me a couple seconds to bring it up on this computer. So I'm going to bring up Happy Farmer. And gotta remember where I put it. Apparently not under music engraving. I put it under cafe. So, all right, I will now share my screen. So, okay, good to know that that it's intimidating. Good to know, not good that it is. It's intimidating to me too, or at least used to be, and I'm getting over it. And one of the ways that, for me, I think helps me get over it is recognizing that there's more to the story, I guess, is how I would put it. So I'm going to share my screen with the audio, and I'll have to remember to turn that off later. All right, you're seeing my screen. You're seeing MuseScore now, correct? Hopefully so. And let me bring up my chat window also, so I can still see this. All right, good. Let's see. Pin this guy off to that side. Make it smaller. There we go. Make this window also smaller so I can see them side by side. That's my goal here. All right, so here's what I want to do with Happy Farmer. The thing is, if you've entered this, you've already looked at the melody, right? You already know that melody. But in case not, or just as a way of maybe saying, let's take advantage of the fact that we already know how this melody goes. Let's sing this thing. So I'm, is that what C F is? I'm just guessing. There we go, C F. And what I'm going to do is count off. And then anyone who's in a place where you're comfortable trying to sing the melody, and by the melody I mean the left-hand part, just do it. Okay, just do your best. Many of you have already entered this into MuseScore, or have looked at other people's version, or you've heard the piece before, and so it's not necessarily sight singing, right? It's just singing. But let's all do it, all right? And you can sing along with me if you like. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's sing along with me. So I'll be helping out with that. So I'll count to 4, and it'll be nice, slow tempo. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Boo bum, boo bum, boo ba doo ba boo dum, ba ba da bum ba da dum, bum 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 bum. And I put some, I breathed in between those last 3 quarter notes. So there were a range for singing. Yeah, so realistically, this is a wide range, right? The range from the lowest note, that C, to the highest note, the F, is it's an octave and a fourth. Well, that's kind of a lot. That's as much of a range as typically people are asked to sing in choral settings, right? I mean, a solo piece, an opera piece might do more, pop songs might do more depending on what the singer wants to do. But most songs that are written don't have any more range than that. So range-wise, that C to F puts it in a tenor range. And of course, I'm not a tenor, I'm a bass. That F is a stretch for me at the top of my range. But whatever, I fake it the best I can. So when I said that I think of sight singing as, yeah, it's about singing, but it's not about singing. It's about a lot of other things. And when I said that this is going to help me be less intimidated by it and get more value out of it, here's what we're going to do now. We aren't going to sing the melody. We are going to sing other lines. And it's going to be an opportunity to discuss voice leading. It's going to be an opportunity to discuss harmony. It's going to be an opportunity to connect a lot of things to the singing. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the top note of the right hand part and sing that. All right. Now, take a look at that. The range is from this A here, and I guess I should get some volume happening here, from the A to the D. And I'd say, oh no, there's a G. The range here is only a perfect fifth. This is, fairly typical that accompaniment parts are written with good voice leading so that it's easier to sing. And of course, Robert Schumann wasn't thinking make this easy to sing. He was just thinking good voice leading because it makes it sound good. So what doing this is going to help us do is get an appreciation for why good voice leading is important, because it will make it easier to sing, and it will give us something to sing that's actually easier, less rangy than that original melody was. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sing a little warm-up exercise. And again, anyone who's in a place where you can sing along also, I encourage you to do the same. So what we're going to do is I'm going to sing, because we already just sang that melody, but I didn't do anything else to kind of set our scale. We're going to do that now. I'm going to sing an F major scale in slow quarter notes, and have you all sing it with me. So just in slow quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay, so that's where I'm singing that, just saying it with solfege syllables. And now I'm going to sing the 1, 3, 5. I'm going to sing that tonic triad, and I'll sing it with numbers this time, and you all can sing along. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. And now maybe we'll do it with solfege syllables. I'll use hand signs. Do, mi, sol, mi, do. Okay, I now have enough of a sense of that F scale in my head to try to sing this line. And we can see already there's going to be an accidental coming. Let's try not to freak out about it, right? We're adults here. We've seen accidentals before. We have a chance of success there. So do, re, mi. Is that a mi? A. A. Okay, I drifted, right? I drifted. Yep. So A. Me sing this again. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, do, re, mi. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to sing this line. And we're not going to try to sing it in rhythm or anything. Let's just get the pitches. 3. I'm just going to sing them, and I'm going to do them this time with letter names. One of the other things that I would want to talk about here is these connections, solfege syllables versus numbers versus letter names, and sometimes also I might talk about in terms of chord, like third of chord, right? Because that's what this A is. That's the third of the chord. That's the fifth of the chord. And then this D is the third of a B flat chord, right? So I like to know those things too. all of these are good things to be aware of. So instead of having these like melodies that are completely divorced of any context, you can learn sight singing from that, but you don't learn anything else. What I'm focused on here is kind of maybe learning multiple things at once. So we're going to sing these notes kind of one at a time. So all the places where the note repeats, we're just going to sing it once. And I'm just going to kind of do like, pointing kind of hand signs. Bum. And so do, re, mi, fa, sol. You might want to sing that with me again. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. A. All right, here we go. We're going to sing each of these notes one at a time using pitch names. A, C, D, C. The top note here is C, and then back down to A, and then down a step to G. And now we're going to have this accidental B natural, and then our C. So let's do that now without me. We're going to do that without me, all right? Hey, have I drifted? Hey, I'm a little flat, okay. That's all. You're going to sing it with me. You're going to sing it, and I'm not going to sing. I will sing the first note, and then you're on your own. Hey. See if I sang it right. Yeah, I keep drifting down because it's too high for me. That's part of why. But I could take the whole thing down another octave, I suppose. But I'm just going to keep going where I'm at because we're about to now do the same thing with the middle note. The triads have 3 notes here. We're going to do the same thing with the middle note. Okay, and so it's going to be the F, and then the A, and then the B flat, and then the A, and then it's going to be the B flat, and then the F. For this chord, the middle note is kind of missing, right? So we're going to just pretend it's there. We're going to do an E in the middle here, and then G and G. So we're going to sing the middle note of that triad. F, here we go, one note at a time. F, A, E flat, A, B flat, F, E, G, G. So I'm singing this line, and G, I should be relatively close, which I was. In doing this, I'm trying to relate to what I remember about where do is, where F is. Like when I'm singing that G, I still remember here's F and there's my G, it's a step above. So anytime I'm leaping to a note, I'm not thinking about what the interval of that leap was. I'm thinking about, well, where that note I'm leaping to, where that note is in the scale. Can I sing scale degree 2? Well, it's right next to scale degree 1. I can. And here's the thing. If you know where the notes of the tonic triad are, 1, 3, and 5, every note of the scale is no more than a step away from a note of that tonic triad. And that's one of the things I want to rely on while we're doing this. And yay, Colleen, glad to hear that you're feeling good about where you are with this. Because if you narrow the range of what we're trying to do and you tie it to something about what you know about chords or theory in general, it's in some ways more easy and more helpful than just singing a melody in isolation. So now we're going to do the same thing with the bottom notes of the triads here, okay? So it's going to be C, it's going to be C, F, and then F again, and then F again, and then E, and then C, and then C, and then F, and then E. It's going to be the bottom notes of each of these 3-note triads. C. And if you need to use a pitch reference to help you at first, that's fine. You will get better at this, and then I'm going to show you some things that you really would want to be striving for eventually. But we're going to just keep doing this. We're going to sing these bottom ones. So again, I'm going to sing do, re, mi, fa, sol, because I've talked too much now. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Do. And then I want to get that leap down to sol, do, C, F. All right, so now we're going to do this thing one note at a time again. C, F, another F, another F, E, C, C, F, E. All right, how are we doing now? There was really only 3 different notes to sing, right? It was C and F. Oh, it was a lot of C, F, F, C, and it was an F and an E. It was the F going down to E here, finding that leading tone. So, yeah, the inner voices often are more restricted, and being able to place where they are in the chord is useful. So now I'm going to do something here, and I did a version of this during office hours on Tuesday. I did a version of this during office hours in which I wasn't looking at the music. I was really going off of memory. But now I'm going to do it looking at the music, and you're going to be looking at it with me. I am going to sing the melody and the triads, okay? And we're going to try this after me. I want to show you how I'm going to do it. And what I'm going to do first is just sing the melody and then the root of the chord, okay? Do-dum, root is F. Do-dum, root is still F. Boo-bum, root is B flat. Do-da-do-dum, root is F. Da-dum, root is C. Boo-dum, ba-dum, root is F. Boo-dum, bum, bum, root is C. Bum, root is G. Bum, root is C. What do you think? You think we can possibly pull this off? Let's try it. I'm going to add the chord symbols in here. I'm going to add them to the top staff. This is an F chord, and then a B flat, then an F, and then a C7, and then an F, and then a C, G7, C. Okay, so we're going to try this, all right? All you have to do to get those bass notes in there, there's mostly 3 of them. It's F, B flat, and C, 1, 4, and 5. 1, 4, and 5. By the way, I'm curious, Steinar. You associated the interval with the start of a familiar Norwegian song. Now, of course, this is a common way of doing of learning intervals, not necessarily with Norwegian songs unless you're in Norway, but as an American, there's songs that I learned for this. And the thing is, most intervals, most of the songs that we use to learn intervals, because you're starting with the start of familiar songs, most of these songs start off arpeggiating the tonic triad like this did. That's an arpeggio of the tonic triad. It's F, A, and C. And so what you're going to do is find all the songs that you typically learn to learn intervals are really dealing with intervals within the tonic triad. The next level of complication is to try to hear intervals that are not within the tonic triad. So that's a whole other level of complication. But we're going to try this now. So we're going to again do a little of a little set of our voice around that scale again. F. Okay. So we're going to do do, re, mi, fa, sol, up and down again. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Okay. Now we are going to sing 1, 4, and 5 because we know we're going to need those. And I'm going to do them by numbers this time. 1. Actually, we're going to do 5 next. 5. Back down to 1. 1. Back up to 5. 5. Back down to 1. 1. Now we're going to go down to 5. 5. And back up to 1. 1. Let's go back and forth there. 1, 5, 1, 5, 1. And now we're going to get 4 in there also. I'm going to go 1, 4, and then back to 1. 1, 4, 1. Let's do that again. 1, 4, 1. Now we're going to go 1, 4, 5, 1. That doesn't actually happen in the song, but it happens often, so we're going to do it. 1, 4, 5, 1. Okay? Now we are going to try together the melody and the roots. And I'm going to kind of use my mouse to point to what we're going to do. And we're going to do this thing. All right? So I'm singing the melody as da 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 because it's too much to think about if I want to try to get solfege syllables or note names or anything like that in there. But I am going to sing the note names for the bass notes. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to sing la da 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 do 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 whatever. Nonsense syllables for the melody, note names for the roots. All right, and you're going to try it with me, okay? And one note at a time here. So ready? Boodum is going to be do do dum. Our starting pitches. Here we go. Ready? Do dum, and then the root. F. Do, dum. Sing the root again. F. Do, dum. And the root is the same note because it's the root of the chord, B flat. B flat. Remember where we are in the melody. F. Back to the melody. Bum. Bum. And now the C. C. Bum. Bum. And there's that C again. Bum. Bum. And now F. Bum. Back to the C. Can you remember the C? Maybe you just walk down to it. Bum, dum. Right? That's okay. Bum, bum, dum. We haven't sung G yet, but try it. Think about it. Bum, bum, bum. And there's our C. So I drifted a tiny bit in pitch, but not too badly. How are you guys doing with this? All right, see you later, Colleen. So I don't know. This type of practice that I'm doing, you see how many skills we're working at the same time? This is cross training. This is, yeah, it's cross training is really what it is. And it's, yeah, ear training is only half the story here. So this that I'm doing is worth your time. And if you think that singing a melody is hard and this makes it harder, well, you're partially right, but it's also in some ways easier because we can rely on our knowledge of theory, if we've got knowledge of theory to rely on about how these chords work. So I'm going to take this another step or two, all right? And I'm sure that most of you have never done what I'm doing here, and therefore it's going to be like, oh, yeah, not even close. And that's okay. It's your first time. But I am still going to show you a little bit more about where we can go with this and why it's so valuable to try this, all right? The next thing I'm going to do is the same thing, and you all can try it with me for sure. But yeah, my vocal range is you know, an issue also, but I'm just making do. I'm now going to sing the whole triad for the chord, okay, instead of just the root. And we're just going to do this. I'm just going to do it. You all can try along with me. Here we go. Bum bum, F A C, do dum bum bum, B flat D F. Do da do dum, F A C, da dum, C E G B flat, do dum ba dum, F A C, da dum bum bum, C E G. Bum bum. Nope. See, I'm confusing myself. E C. This is what I did in masterclass. Also, I confused myself. I tried to sing a G7 here. I messed it up. Totally messed it up. E C E G D G. Oh man, that's not a G. I've drifted like crazy. E C E G D G B D F C C E G. So I drifted when I was getting lost in the chords here, and I recognized I drifted because I heard myself sing a G and said, no, 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 I can sing a G without struggling. And I struggled because I missed that C here. That's what I did. And this is what I did wrong, I know, in when I tried to do this a little bit during the office hours. I did the same thing. I confused myself because I think I didn't sing a C, I sang a G. So I'm going to try it from here again. Ba-dum, C, E, G, B flat, ba-do-dum, ba-dum, F, A, C, E, and then C, E, G, E, D, G, B, D, F, C, C, E, G. So, this thing that I just did, why not practice that? Why not? Why not, as you're working on music, engage your whole brain, engage the ear, the mind, and the fingers and the voice and everything else. Well, fingers if you're working this on the piano. I would claim every time I hear music, at some level, I'm processing it on these multiple levels. And you want to do that. So I mentioned that I'm going to keep going, and I am going to keep going. The next thing I'm going to do is not sing those triads in root position. I'm actually going to try to use Schumann's voice leading. And I do want to point out something about the voice leading. This was an odd choice here. The middle note here, B flat, on the C7 chord, kind of should have resolved down to the A. Normally the sevenths come down by step. And so really, this chord should have been, should have, it doesn't really matter, but this would have been the more natural right hand part. And I want to hear it. Oh, it's playing the chord symbols. Let me turn off chord symbols for a second. And I'm going to do it from the style menu so I don't have to open the whatchamacallit, the inspector. So in chord symbols, I can just turn off playback, right? Chord symbols, no play. All right. So totally, Schumann could have written this. And frankly, I probably would have written this. I probably would have written it this way. Why? Because this time we get the B flat resolving to the A, and we get the E resolving to the F. And we're keeping the common tone in the C. But that's not what he wrote, right? And so I'm going to try to honor what he actually wrote. And I'm going to try to sing it, okay? Now, I'm not going to try to sing the notes in order. I'm still going to use the roots, but I'm going to sing his voice leading, okay? Boo. And you all again can try with me, but you'll have to. It'll take you a moment to see what I'm doing. Actually, yeah, this is gonna be tricky. Boo dum, low F, F A, C F A, do dum, F A C, do dum, F B flat D, boo do da do dum, F A C, da dum. Can I sing the E? F E B flat C ba ba boo bum ba dum C F A do dum bum bum C E G dum F G. See, now I'm off. I'm off here. E C G D F G B. I walked up is what I did here. I thought D, and then I'm trying to make it to the F, so I went D, E, F, and then I can sing F, G, B, C, E, G, C. And Rod, yeah, you're right that a reason to have brought the chord voicing down here is to connect to the next chord, but then the question is, well, why was the next chord there, right? And it's because he was thinking melodically. He's not just thinking voice leading, but he's trying to create an interesting top melody. Boo, da, 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 da. Right, that line that we sang a while ago, that was a line he wanted to create, not just the world's most perfect, boring voice leading, but one with a little interest to it. He wanted to create that shape. So yes, absolutely. Okay, so now I'm now going to go to the last step that I want to go here. And this is, and there's a symmetry also, right? This is what I think Dean is indicating, right? The voicing here is the same as the voicing there, right? And so the voicings go up and then come back down to where they started. All right, so you ready for your brain to hurt some more, Peter? I am now going to bring in some harmony stuff. And Dean, this is you pay attention. I'm going to sing something here. I'm going to change the harmonies a little bit. I'm going to change up the harmonies. And we're going to just see where this goes. I've done this in my brain before. In my head, I've done what I'm about to do. I've never actually tried what I'm about to do on this song. I mean, I've done it a million times on other songs, but I'm going to try this here. Do-dum, am I in the right pitch? Do-dum, F, do-dum, do-da-do-da-do-da, So here's what I'm going to change. Do-da-do, dum, ba-do. Oh, I'm actually, I can't remember what I was doing. Oh yeah, here's the thing. Okay, here we go. No, take it back. Take two. Boo dum, boo dum, boo dum. What did I sing here? Boo dum, boo da dum, bum, boo da dum, bum. What did I sing? What did I sing? Do, bass note, bum, do dum, bass note. note. I can't sing it that low. Do, F bass note. Do, dum, bass note. Bum, hum, bass note. Do, da, hum, bass note. Bass note. What was my bass line? Someone tell me in the chat what you think my bass line was. Even if I didn't sing it as well as I could perfectly, certainly it was descending. Yeah. Try to pick out what the pitches were based not on the quality of my voice, because that's all over the place. Think about it harmonically. What was going on? What was I singing? Bum. I'm going to actually just sing the bass line. Boo, boo, bum. My bass line's going to go bum, 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 bum. Those are the pitches I sang. What was that bass line? Give me the notes. Bum, 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 bum. Stepwise down. Give me some pitches. Give me actual pitches. And meanwhile, because I'm behind you, I'm going to give you the answers. Bum. Bum. Then, the tricky thing, did I put this on the wrong chord? Let me put this on beat 1. All right. All right, so what I did, I don't know why that's not wanting to, oh, I did go by beat. Okay, sorry. Bum, 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 what's this note? So yes, it's a B flat scale descending, except for this note. This note that I'm about to put in here. Ba-da-dum, ah-dum. Let's not think about that note for a second. Well, let's think about what I was going to here. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum. It's the same note, right? This is a C. So what came before it? Dean's got it here. It's a D flat and Steiner too. What was the chord is the next question. I sang a D flat there. What chord was I implying with that D flat in this context? And hint, you have to know a little bit about me. You have to know a little bit about me to get that answer. But if you know a little bit about me, because if someone else sang that bass line, they might have thought a different chord. But you need to know what chord. What's my chord? Who's you know, what's my chord that's got that scale degree flat 6 in it? It is not, in fact, a diminished chord. It could be. Yeah, you could totally write a diminished chord there. Minor 4 chord. I sang, and how did I know it was a minor 4 chord that I was singing? Well, I didn't necessarily, but if I'm singing, I've just sung B flat, do dum, hum, and I've got F and D flat. I've got the F and the D flat, and I've just been on a B flat major chord. That's where my brain's going to go. I've just sung a B flat major chord. I'm still singing a note that's in a B flat chord, but I've just changed the third from D to D flat. It's going to be a B flat minor chord. So this is the chord progression that I just created in my voice. Do, boo dum, boo da, doo dum, doo da, and I had to cheat this. I had to sing a D flat in the melody on my way down. And so this is like a game that I play. Yeah, so James, yeah, you're right behind me there. The D does not work in the melody. I sang a D flat on the way down. Do, do, da, da, D flat C. So when I say it's like a game, it's a reharmonization and ear training game at the same time, and voice leading game. And when do I play this game? I play this game driving. I play this game walking around the block. I play it anywhere I think I can sing and get away with it. and to pass time. Yeah, driving especially. I do this sort of thing all of the time. So I'm just going to continue this game for this line because I've thought it through in my head a little bit, but I haven't tried it yet. Do dum F do da E flat do dum D do dum D flat do dum C do da do. Instead of bum, I'm going to go C sharp, E, G, B flat, a diminished chord, ba, do, A, E, C sharp, B flat, A, F, D. So what did I do? I sang B flat, E, C sharp. I sang a whole arpeggio down, a diminished arpeggio, this time a C sharp diminished arpeggio. B flat E, B flat G, C sharp, there's my C sharp diminished arpeggio, B flat A, F, D minor, that was a C sharp diminished going to D minor, A, and then E with the C, D with the G, B, and C. So I reharmonized it, changed the melody a little bit, right? I'm a jazz guy. I change things, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're a jazz person or not. This is ear training / harmony training all wrapped in together. So for people who are looking for that extra whatever to do other than saying, I just want to sing some melodies in tune, that's a great goal in itself, especially if you want to be a singer. But if your goal of ear training is to make you a better musician going beyond that, I'm showing you here that all these things will tie together. So over time, I will construct more structured exercises for us to do this kind of thing in. And so that people who are ready for this kind of thing can go ahead and do this kind of thing. And if you're not there and you're still needing to be practicing the scale stepwise melodies and so forth, by all means you practice those. But immediately, as quickly as possible, take that simple melody practice to doing the things like I was doing, looking at singing the voice leading here. So here's another example. And then, Jim, I do want to bring you up if you're still here. I've mentioned that Chopin Prelude. We were just talking about the Chopin Prelude that, yeah, doing bicycle searches here, right? This prelude that we were just talking about is an excellent study in voice leading. And you can do exactly the thing that I just did, singing through these chords. I need the notes. I'm in a different key now. G, B, E, 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 E flat, D, D, E, D, E. I have to think about how they get that step. D, 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 C sharp, C, 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 B, B, A. And now in my head, back to B and then back up to E. So I'm singing through the top notes of that voice leading. It's all steps, but there's chromatic things in there that makes it tricky, right? But then you do the same in the middle voice. Most music you might look at that's got chords written out like that, you're gonna have some of that kind of stuff going on. You're gonna have good voice leading in the chords. So it's absolutely something you can practice. That's not just practicing a melody out of a melody book, but it's applying it to music. That said, how do you get good at doing that in the first place? Well, you practice singing melodies out of melody books. That's how you get there, right? That is absolutely positively your first steps to take. So, Jim, I never actually saw you comment if you're interested in joining me here. But I would love, because the project that you've done of putting this sightseeing thing together is just fabulous. And so if you're available, if your microphone's working, would love to have you come on and just say a few words about it. Meanwhile, I will bring the thing up and start talking about it myself. I need to kill my screen share's sound check. Because my screen share's sound is going to give you echo. So I need to kill that.
I don't know
Otherwise,
if
so give me a
my
second.
I don't know if my sounds like there's a lot of latency.
Yeah, there's echo. That's why I was just saying I need to kill my sound share's echo. I need to kill my sound share's audio in order to have you on as a guest. All right, try to talk now again, Jim. Try
I'm
to talk
talking.
better.
I'm talking. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. Is the echo gone for you?
It's still there quite a bit.
Really? Huh. That's
I can hear you, but I can't hear myself. I don't know uh, how it's coming out on your end.
all right. All right. It sounds fine from my perspective. Other people can say just hearing the echo.
Uh, it seems to be working. Like I say, I don't hear myself coming back through the audio,
Okay,
but
good.
if you can hear me,
Yeah.
we're fine.
Yes, yeah, I needed the headphones. I forgot that I needed to put headphones on to make that work again. Okay, so yes, so for people who have not seen this, this is a pretty fabulous thing that you're doing here, and it is. Yeah, so tell us a bit about it. I'll be pulling it up on my screen here as soon as
Okay,
my computer
pull
catches
up the
up.
set would probably be the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, that would be the easiest way, and that is a really cool thing that you can just share sets because I've done that in my theory courses. And it appears that now, while I'm doing all of this, computer wants to slow down. That's why I was on the other computer. It is faster. Here we go. Getting there. But yeah, tell us what brought this on, how you came about finding this material, and yeah, tell us more.
Okay. What brought it on is I've always been horrible at sight singing. When I was in college, we took sight singing, but like I say, I think they gave me a D out of pity.
Hmm?
I've just never been able to do it. It was strange. I was married to a gal that had perfect pitch, and so
Hmm.
she couldn't understand why I couldn't do all these things, but I just couldn't do it. And I finally decided that I was going to learn to sight sing about 2 weeks ago, and I'm using the same material that you've got there, that book that's open
Hmm.
source, and all I'm doing is I'm transcribing one page of that a day, basically.
Okay.
And what I'm doing at the beginning of the piece, I sound the pitch, and then I give the clicks at a tempo that I think should be appropriate, usually about 120, sometimes 80, depends on how difficult the piece is. And so on these sheets, you hear the pitch, then you hear the clicks, and then you hear the music. But what I do is I stop after I hear the pitch and I sight sing it. It starts off very easy. I mean, the first pieces are all stepwise.
Right.
I think it begins only with three notes, do, re, and mi at the beginning, and but it gets gradually more difficult. So now I've done about 80 exercises, and it's up to the
Wow.
to point that we're about a little bit over an octave, and we're getting skips up to an octave, sixths and octaves primarily, thirds, fifths.
Hmm.
Uh, Still not doing a lot of sevenths or and no chromatic tones yet, but it'll get to
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
what I've today was really a breakthrough. I get up every morning, and I've got this stuff in Namascene, so it comes up like it's a little program. I think I put a demonstration on there,
Yes, you did.
and
And so people who haven't seen that, it's this interesting app that it does
yeah,
flashcards and then it remembers which ones you're struggling with. So it shows
exactly
you them again, etc.
right. It decides how often to repeat them till you get them down. So now I've done those 80 exercises. I can sing all of them now, and a couple of weeks ago I couldn't sing anything. Uh, I think I did a video demonstrating how to
Yeah.
use Phenomenal. It was just it's horrible. When I listened to it, I was embarrassed that I put it out there.
No,
But
it was great. It's great to put stuff out where you're struggling so that people can see first of all, people can relate, and second, you can see what's going to be hard and what other people need to watch out for too.
But what happened this morning was the first time in my life that I've ever been able to look at something. And, when I'm playing clarinet or saxophone, I look at it, my fingers, I don't have any problem. I see a C, I can finger a C, blah, 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 and do all the jumps and everything. It's no problem because I've practiced it for years. I've never been able to do it sight singing. This morning, for the first time, sight singing was almost exactly the same as playing my clarinet. I'd see the notes in my mind. They would just lock in. It was like my mind had locked in.
Nice. That is fantastic. Was there a particular exercise you noticed that happened with?
No, like I say that Namazine presents them in random order, so I don't. It's got the number. I put the number down there so I could look it up, but I don't pay any attention to that. It's just whatever it presents me, I sing. So they're in random order and so forth. But all of them were locked in like that.
Nice.
I'll tell you, I met Paul Desmond once. I don't know how many people know who Desmond was, but he was an alto player with a Dave Brubeck quartet.
And great generally music. Considered one of the most melodic improvisers that has ever lived.
Yes. And I asked Desmond, I said, Desmond, how do you learn to play like that? And he looked at me kind of funny. And he said, you just play a lot.
Okay.
It took me 30 years to figure out what he was talking about. That's how dense I am. You just play a lot. Well, it's the same thing with sight singing. Mm-hmm. I couldn't sight sing because I never did it.
Yeah.
And I started doing it. I started with the easy stuff and gradually getting more difficult. And now it's starting to come together. So it's just you just sing a lot.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Absolutely. No, that is absolutely how you get better at doing pretty much anything. Of course, the thing is that it's a bit facetious to say that the way you become a great improviser is to play a lot, because you could totally not be, not everyone sounds like Desmond or even close to that, even if they played a ton, because you're not necessarily, you don't have direction to what you're doing, right? You play, but who knows what you're playing. But if you're sight singing off of specific exercises, as long as you have something to tell you if you're doing it right or not, you're going to get better.
Yeah, it's music's very complicated, very sophisticated, maybe it's a better word than complicated thing, because you've got all these physical things, and then you've got the mental things, and they're related, but you have to get the physical things. You have to be able to hold a clarinet before you can learn to play the clarinet. And your fingers, the horn is made to fit the human body, but if you don't just your right thumb, if you're a clarinet player, the right thumb is what controls that instrument, and you've got to learn. I still
have my callus from 50 years ago, I think.
Yeah, you get them, and it's the muscle movement going from the brain down to your fingers is no different than going from the brain to your tongue and your vocal cords. It's in high school we learned about sodium ion pumps and things like that, but you get a path from your brain down to your muscles, and repetition is what makes that path, what locks it in. And so it's doing the sight singing every day. I get up in the morning, and before I do anything else, I sit down and I practice sight singing for 10 or 15 minutes now. I've been doing that for 2 weeks, and it's made a tremendous difference.
Well, that is just fantastic to hear. Peter was asking to see one of the simpler ones, so I brought up sight singing number 1, which is the first one you posted. But by the way, Jim, when you make your sets, you can. I'm pretty sure you can just drag the things in the window while you're constructing the set to put them in whatever order you want, because right now they're kind of scrambled.
I'm sorry, I lost that.
Oh yeah, when you're uploading, after you've uploaded a song and you want to add it to a set, it adds it by default to the end, and so I think this is the order you've uploaded them in or something like that. But you can rearrange them.
So, I'd like to rearrange them. I'd like them to start with 1 and down to the end, but I haven't.
You can totally do that. You can totally do that. So anyhow, Peter was asking to see one of the easy ones, so I'm showing number 1 here. So let's end on this note here. So you've set these up so that if I press the space bar, I hear a reference pitch, and now press pause again, press it again to pause, and now I sing. So let's all sing. I'll count to 4. G, and let's go. Let's do it. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Do whatever you need to do to get them in your pitch. And now I'm going to count to 4, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Do, re, mi. Okay, so I had to stop because, yeah, the latency is going to be such that we can't sing at the same time, Jim. Okay. So do you want to sing or you want me to?
Go ahead.
Okay, here we go. Because I counted off, it's going to make more sense. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do, re, mi, fa, mi, re. Mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, do. So, oh, you weren't hearing MuseScore. That's fine, because I had to turn off my screen share sound to avoid Jim hearing echo. My other computer, I had everything set up to not do that, but it decided to not cooperate, right? In any case, that's doing that. Singing the syllables, getting it in rhythm requires a little bit of thought. But as far as the actual pitches go, that's do, re, mi, fa, sol. In that order, right? So it's a pretty easy exercise as far as that goes. And these first few exercises are all designed to be at that level of simplicity. Where did these ones come from, Jim?
They come that same book that you mentioned, the one that that you've got to download.
Yeah,
I'm just taking those pages and add them into MuseScore.
Okay, but you've kind of shuffled them around in order. You've sort of played pick and choose from them.
No, I'm using exact order in that book.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's just I renumbered them because that, for some reason, that book starts off with what they call, I think it's chapter A.
Yeah.
And I finished all those, and then it jumps into another part of it. And
I see.
So, like I say, I'm just taking. I do a page out of that book every day.
Gotcha. Okay, well, cool. So no, it's a great thing, and it's fantastic that you're posting these. We all appreciate it, and so yeah, they're all there in the community. Just go. They're here under share and discuss. So you don't even have to be in the you don't even have to be in the Musicianship Skills Workshop to take advantage of these. So by all means, people grab them and check them out and use them for practice. Highly recommended. Thanks a lot, Jim. Any final words before we start signing off here?
No, it just gets to be fun. I'm almost addicted to sight singing. It's like if I don't do it every morning, I feel bad.
I hear you. Okay, well, that is a great place to be, and that's really inspirational to know that it's something you really felt, intimidated by at one point and are starting to be excited by now. That is in 2 weeks' time. That is inspirational, and hopefully everyone takes inspiration from that. All right, so I'm going to say goodbye, Jim, and then say goodbye to everyone. So thanks again.
Thank you.
And thanks again to everyone. Oops, yes, there we go. Okay, so this MuseScore, instead of hearing my regular MuseScore theme song to leave with, I don't have that fired up at the moment, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to bum, 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 bum. I could pretty much sing the thing, but hopefully that you've gotten some useful things out of here. I mean, we talked about a lot of stuff with ear training and did some things that got quite advanced. But my point isn't to say, oh yeah, by having practiced this one thing I showed you, now you're there, right? It's a long process, but it's good to know the goal, because the goal is to be able to make these connections in your brain so that when you see music, you know what it's going to sound like. When you You can sing those pitches. You can understand if you're hearing something in your head, you know how to write it out without trial and error, right? You just know, oh, I heard this sound in my head, it's going to be this, and then you just you write it out or you improvise it, right? It's all of these things are connected, and this is how we build these connections. So you start with those sight singing exercises. That G, A, B, C, da, da. You start by singing sight singing exercises that are simple like that. Take music you're already familiar with and push yourself to not just sing the melody, but sing the other inner voices that are in it. Do all these things, build these connections, and you will go a long ways. So hope you've enjoyed the session, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye. Go live. Am I not still live? Look at that button says go live. Curious. Oh well, now I hit the leave button.